It's that time. Vader Saber 1984, also known as That Drunk Guy and His Bullshit Opinions, coming to you on this late night of a Tuesday, kind of cold Tuesday. $63, $62 at the moment, but it's been a little while since I've voiced my opinions, and which they are mostly bullshit anyway, and they're just my opinions, not something that you need to be offended by. And if you are, you're a pussy, and you need to stop paying for your therapist and actually get some dirt on your hands and live the real life. But in normal fashion, we're gonna do this. Grab yourself a drink. Grab yourself a smoke. Grab onto your butts, because here we go. Okay, 9 times out of 10, I hit my stuff on political. I talk about political things going on, and so in orderly fashion, we might as well see what's on the ballot in my local area. It's a little thing I got in the mail. I've been getting text messages and phone calls and, hey, are you going to vote? Blah, 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 blah. I've actually gotten messages on Facebook from Beto O'Rourke asking me if I'm going to vote. And I replied, Facebook and text message. My open opinions and honestly freedom of speech of what I thought of him. Thank you, have a nice day. And I continued to send what I thought about him. Greg Abbott, I'm not a fan. Sorry. Wheels kind of screwed us over in the primary, which I spoke about in the last YouTube video. And also in the pandemic, really screwed us over, especially because I just opened my own business with my business partner, and it hurt us bad. So Wheels can suck my ass, but he at least has some intelligence of Texas life. Beto O'Rourke, or Robert Francis O'Rourke, as he's actually known by, no. It's kind of like the lesser of two evils. But when you see one person is actually the villain and the other person's just trying to make money, I'll take the asshole. I'll take the asshole. I'll take Greg Abbott every day. He actually did a meet and greet today here in Lubbock, and I thought about getting up early and going and seeing him, just to find it out. But I was like, no, I'm gonna save that 2-3 hour time and actually rest and get ready for work. So missed out on that. However, main subject story is election coming up in within 2 weeks. I don't care what your political beliefs are, whether you're left, whether you're right, whether you believe in a higher power or whether you don't. The fact is that we're paying for this. No matter what, we pay for this. How do you want your kids to grow up? How do you want your grandkids to grow up? How do you want to pay in the life that you still have on this earth? How do you want to? And my thing prior to even me being political was I'm an anarchist. I don't believe there should be a government. I think that there should be everybody living freely and just going by it. But it's already set in stone in our Constitution and our democratic ways and our republic that we have. This is what we have to follow. So I'm going to take the lesser of two evils, which is not hard to decide. So early voting has already started, and I'm pretty sure that tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of early voting as well. But that's not the main thing. Let's talk about some BS. There are people on the left saying that they want to now make schools for children. You have to be vaccinated, which is a part of your vaccinations for kids to go to school. You have to be vaccinated with this vaccination that does not protect you from getting the virus, does not protect you from dying from the virus, but they want you to take it to go to school. And these are children. What they're failing to put out on the news is what's in that vaccination and what it does to people, how it can harm fertility, and how it can harm your body, because it's a protein inhibitor. It's not a vaccination. It's crap. And I myself hate the fact that Donald Trump put his stamp approval on it. Like, really, dude, you sold out. However, that's just here nor there. And then I turn on the TV and I see Joe Biden talking about what's going on. And he's begging for oil from Saudi Arabia. Why? Why are you buying oil from people who we don't need to? We have our own secure reservoirs in the United States, in North America, that we could provide jobs for. But you turn off the pipeline, cut people out of jobs, ban fracking, and tell everybody we're going to go to electric. And then California turns around and says, oh, we got to shut down the power. You can't charge your electric cars anymore because we can't handle it. Sounds like your shit's not working, quite frankly. So my opinion is, whether you think it's a global warming deal or not, you need to look at the science and the facts of the fact that the world goes through a cycle. It goes through a world cycle of ice age and meltation and greenhouse gas and all that crap. It just goes through that cycle. But it also goes through the cycle of nature finally gets tired of our shit and it responds. So that's just the world reacting to us. We are carbon life forms. We're emitting carbon. We are, pulling natural resources and destroying our atmosphere. That is just a fact. Any planet, if there were other planets that were housed and that we were on that planet, it would be the same thing. We're going to use up the natural resources. We're going to pollute it. We are going to fuck it up. We are humans. We are not perfect. We're going to destroy some shit. That's what we do. So to sit there and say, we need to prolong our planet, we need to. Yeah, maybe. But we don't have anywhere else to go. When you start, drilling on Mars or something like that, and you find something else inhabitable, then bitch about it. Okay? Then tell me that, hey, we really need this. Other than that, just shut the hell up, okay? This is all we have. Our technology is not bright enough for us to go to another planet at the moment. But isn't it funny how we're seeing more and more lightings in the sky recently? And then Donald Trump, just during his presidency, puts out a Space Force. Oh, we're going to do that. And now you don't hear anything about it, but everybody's saying, oh, we're not going to do this. We're not going to. There's probably something out there that's going to say, we don't like what you're doing on your planet. We're smarter than you. We're going to fuck you up if you don't fix it. Or, well, you've started becoming a superpower and we're going to take you over, just like some other countries that have been in our history. Sounds familiar. All right, moving on from the political basis. Let me take a drink. Be right back. All right, moving on from the political aspect of it. Let's talk about work. I have been in customer support almost my entire life of living and working. And there just comes those days in everybody's life where you're just like, oh my God, are you that stupid? And if I could reach over the counter or reach through the phone or reach out and grab you by the face and just mush it into the ground, I would definitely do that. Because you can't hear. You are too involved in spewing this, what you think is right and what's going on, that you're not listening to what is real and facts. Kind of like political shit, right? So, I had a customer today who was a very nice elderly lady from Florida and was telling me about her billing and was asking me about it, and I was happy to help her. Pulled all the information up and realized that she had missed 2 payments and was behind for 2 months, and she was just playing catch up. And I'm like, okay, well, be glad to help you, explain everything. And then her son gets on the phone. I guess it's her son or somebody, and just berated me, yelling at me for 20 minutes straight. Luckily enough, the phone cut off. Well, my job is to call him back. However, I did have another call in between that, which lasted probably about 7 to 10 minutes. And then I looked at my phone. Yeah, I've got to call him back. It's my job. So I went ahead and called him back. And then she picks up again. And I said, I'm sorry that we got cut off. I just want to pick up where we left off. Okay, cool. Everything's fine. No worries. And then in the background, all I hear is yelling. Same guy. Cussing his head off. Telling me this, or well, in the background, telling somebody else about what needs to be done. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to get around this. I'm just going to end the conversation. And then I hear, give me that goddamn phone. Let me tell that mother. Another 20 minutes of me being yelled at as I'm trying to tell him, yes, she has paid 2 different months, twice in a month, but you're still behind on 2 months because of September. It's now October, almost November, and he's just not listening. All right, well, can you go here? Can you see what I'm seeing? Will you please? No, you're wrong. And starts going biblical on me, telling me that he knows God, and that God told him that he is right, and that everything that I was doing was wrong, and that the worst will come to me, and God will make it right. Long story short, I don't care what your faith is. I have my faith in my own. But how powerful are you, and how stupid are you to sit there and think that your answers are completely right just because you have belief in something? And the reason I ask that is because and I hate quoting Bill Clinton, but a long time ago, he said, no matter what you think is right, you might be wrong. And which is very true, and that goes for all aspects of life. And for somebody to be so blindly narrow-minded and stupid because the facts are being told to you and you just don't listen. This is what you're set on, and I'm guilty of it myself. I look so blindly of this is my way or the highway. You know, that's how we are as human beings. And sometimes I just don't see the truth in front of me. But calling myself hypocritical when I look at those other people doing the exact same thing that I do to everybody else, I'm like, oh God, I hope you die. So it was just one of those days at work where it got me so I literally was ready to, all right, I'm going to pack up in my car. I'm going to drive to this guy's address. I know where he lives, even though it would probably be quite a drive to Florida. But I'm going to go to his house. I'm going to show him a printout of this, shove it in his face, punch through the piece of paper, beat the ever-living shit out of him because how he spoke to me. And then finally just took a couple squeezes on my stress ball and said, you know what? I'm the exact same person. I am that same piece of shit. I don't take it out on the customer support the same way. If I'm on the phone, I'll listen. I'm not one of those guys behind the phone or behind the computer like I'm Billy Badass and I'm gonna do this to you or whatever. I'm just not that. I love people and I don't like to hurt people. But there are some times that I'm like, oh, you are stupid. And you don't need to be breathing this oxygen. So it came to that point of the day where I was like, I need to relax. I went to the local watering hole, had 2 rounds, and I was like, okay, now I'm good. Now I can come home to my home, my puppies, you know, and just relax. See the people I love, you know, and not take my day out on. But if you're in customer support, you understand that. You have these sorry ass people in their right mind that they are correct and don't get it. And you just want to eliminate them from existence. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy? Does that make me the killer clown just because I look at seeing somebody on this plane of existence that is so stupid that I can take advantage of them and just end them? Not a good thing to think about. But there's a difference in between functioning psychos and real psychos. As Bill Burr once said, the functioning psychos just think about it. The real psychos, they plan it, they do it, and those are the people that we don't want in this world. So, moving on. All right, now we're moving on. Newest in life, still trying to find another place to call home. Take that extra step. Spoke to a great gentleman tonight about some property and some houses, and that was great and all. And you know, so it's still in the works of you know, making that next step in life, moving and changing everything that's been my blanket for the past 13 years of, you know, grown into this home. But it's time to grow up and get out of my shell and actually do something. And I'm being pushed by that in a good way, that I need to get out of this. And I am very grateful for what I've had for all these years, the memories in this home. But it's time to move on. But other than that, looking at 2 things. I am very grateful for what I have, what I've been given, the life I have, the job I have, the blessings I've been given, the family, the friends, the opportunities, everything. I'm very grateful for that. And then I'm also grateful for the new people in my life, the new family that I call. I'm very grateful for them. And this is where I'm going to plug anybody that's watching this, and I know out of maybe the 10 or 11 people that watch this are from, my area and able to go to this show. So here's where I do the plug. O'Neill, the MC, this Friday show, Lubbock, Texas, Red Zone. That's where you got to be. Doors open at 7. Show starts about 8:30. He'll go on, and I think he's got 3 sets. There's 4 or 5 different artists going up there, but it's going to be a great time at the Red Zone. Tickets are $15 at the door. Very excited for this. Matter of fact, it's been months because the entire bar got COVID and we had to cancel the entire show, and here it is. It's finally come down to it. I have to work that day until 9 o'clock. Ugh. That's when my boy goes on. And so it's going to be a great show. I've already talked to 2 of the artists that are going to be on there. I'm very hyped about it. I've already told hundreds of people that little hole in the wall venue probably only holds about 100 people anyway. But I would be thankful and grateful for even a third of that actually show up, because I love music. And when I see passion in people who love their craft, what they do, and as long as it's something that means something to me, then I have passion with them, mutually. And so I'm telling everybody right now, hey, if you're in Lubbock, Texas, and you have an opportunity Friday night, this Friday, the 28th, to do something, go to the Red Zone, 8 o'clock, okay? $15 at the door, support local music, buy some merch, buy some drinks, play some pool, enjoy a great show. I promise you, bar none, you will not only see a good show, but you will meet the most humble people, and on top of that, see the most talented rapper that I've ever met in my entire life. That I personally met. And not only that, he's a great friend. I'm not just blowing smoke up, the bandwagon butthole. This is somebody who I see how hard he works, working 2 jobs, taking care of family. I see this man, and he is just trying to get his passion out there. And I think everybody deserves at least one chance in life. Doesn't matter if you like them. All right, I'll never go back and see them again. Doesn't matter if that happens. Give them one try. Dad always told me, try everything once. And I said, well, I'm never gonna try dick. And he goes, not like that, and it has to have a little retrospect, but try everything once in life. Doesn't matter whether it's skydiving or a different kind of music or different kind of food, something that's still beneficial to life and your knowledge of being this independent speck dot in this world. Just try something out that might change your aura, change your mind, change your aspect, and have a good time while you do it. If it's terrible, walk out if you don't like it. But I'm promising you right now, the show at the Red Zone, Red Roof Inn, Red Zone is the bar on the side, you will be pleasantly surprised on the lineup and the talent that you will see for that show. So, done plugging. Now on to the next thing. Next and last thing, bad news bear. My last living grandfather passed away. And still don't know about services. Was he somebody that I was very close with? Yes. Probably about 20 years ago and prior, I was very close with this man. Helped raise me, taught me a lot in life. He was a very strong, hardworking man. God rest his soul. On the other aspect, I felt like a complete asshole. Because I think that that man deserved to die. And not to sound crass, but he had lived his life and through so much chaos and pain and suffering for all those years that it was time. And most people would look at me and say, "Oh, you're glad your grandpa's dead?" Yeah. One, he's no longer suffering. Two, he doesn't have to put up with this shit anymore. This life, everything that's going on. And three, he could finally be at peace. Because all these years of him being in misery. So, yeah, I'm an asshole because when we left off 20 years ago, our relationship went very south. And so that makes me feel terrible because I was a fucking young, cocky, arrogant prick. Thinking that, this old man could not tell me whatever while I'm living under his roof for a couple of months and while he's helping me out. And I was just a total douche. And I never got to tell him I was sorry. And that's something that I think is very valuable in life. Is appreciating somebody. Whether you're wrong or right or come back, that you at least apologize and be grateful for the things that somebody gave you. And so the story behind everything else and the message, I guess you might call it, is be grateful for what you have and what you had and what you were taught, because it's not going to be here tomorrow, and you might not learn it from somebody else just like that. And this generation, this life, has no clue. Now I sound like my old man. But loving somebody and then living so long with hate in your heart is a terrible thing to have. So I will live with that forever, is the fact that just because he thought differently, voted differently, prayed differently, whatever, I had resentment and animosity against that for 20 years. And that is 20 years I will never get back. And I pray that I will be forgiven for that. But I hope that he is at peace now, no matter the wrongs or the rights that he's done in life.